Welcome back to our final session. Time flies when we're having fun. And whenever I'm talking to Greg, I always have a lot of fun. One of the things, and Greg's probably going to say it sometime during this session, so I'm going to take his thunder away by saying it. We had an election for commander. And one of the things I mentioned to Greg was I had voted for his opponent. And he will never let me forget that. Now, love Greg to pieces. I have to say that because I knew whichever commander was selected, we had an outstanding commander. And not only that, but he picked the person that he ran against to work with him as his number 2 person. So obviously we had 2 good people running. I voted for the other person, but I was so glad when I found out that Greg won. And I'm also on his staff, so I work for him as well. And he's an outstanding and excellent commander. We'll probably keep him around as long as we can. So now that I've built him up and taken away his thunder, Greg, what are some of the other things that the DAV does for our community, for our veterans families?
We offer and by the way, you're going to be fired because you do work for me and didn't vote for me. But anyway, we've in the process now of over 300,000 claims the DAV has, and that doesn't sound like a lot of people considering how many millions of veterans there are, but 300,000 claims. It could be 1 claim, it could be 15 claims, it doesn't matter. We are there to support them, walk them through the process of doing this, doing it right the first time, because you know when dealing with the government, what happens with that. So our service officers will walk them through step by step what they need to do, the paperwork they need, the documentation they need, and get them through that process as quickly as possible. Also, we help homeless veterans here in Pahrump. We have a homeless committee. We have a hospital committee. We have different committees that zero in on different areas to help veterans. So whatever veteran needs, we have someone that can help them.
Okay. Now, I have to say, and I really believe it, that in the Southern Nevada, and that we're part of, we have an outstanding healthcare system. Mm-hmm. We have an outstanding clinic. People that work over there doing a fantastic job with what they have. We're still looking for a doctor, of course. Mm-hmm. But Desert View Hospital is there. They support us 100%. There's some things they can't do because they're not in the VA system, but they'll do everything that they can. Mm-hmm. They also provide a place for the DAV service officers. Mm-hmm. So we're very fortunate to have that. I know that as chairman of the Prostate Cancer Support Group, mm-hmm. They provide a place for us to meet. So Desert View is there, but we want to remember that the VA clinic is there for us, mm-hmm. and DAV is there for us.
Exactly. Now the clinic, I have to say, I'm a big advocate for the clinic because to me, the clinic, whenever I walk in there, it's like family.
Absolutely.
They treat you like family. They hurt when you hurt. They laugh when you laugh. We have a person there from the DAV sitting in the lobby giving out information on the DAV. Okay. Now, as far as the health care goes, people have to realize that the VA hospital is 65, 70 miles away from us.
Yes.
And I know this has nothing to do with the DAV, but there's a lot of members in the community that are DAV members and not DAV members, but come to our meetings that do not realize that there is a facility on the grounds of the VA called the Fisher House.
That's out by the hospital.
That's in the parking lot of the hospital. Okay. It was just opened. Veterans do not realize from Pahrump that if they have an appointment at the VA, their caretaker and themselves can stay at the Fisher House the night before their procedure.
And what's the charge for that?
No charge.
No charge
whatsoever. Okay. And actually, I used it about a month ago, and they supplied my caretaker with food. We had a room, and it's nice to roll out of bed, walk across the parking lot, and go to your appointment, especially if it's a colonoscopy.
Well, Greg, I wasn't going to say that, but you mentioned the fact that your caregiver was able to get some food and you could not.
I couldn't.
I was going to ask why not, but
well,
you've already said it. So for that procedure, no, you cannot eat before that procedure.
I mean, you have to drink the day before, and
okay,
it's not a pleasurable drink.
We're not going to
talk about that. But anyway, the Fisher House is available to veterans who have appointments there and their caretakers. And it's an opportunity, believe me, to eliminate, because a lot of the veterans have early appointments.
Yes.
For instance, 8 o'clock in the morning, you have to get up real early here
to
travel.
Yes. I've done that and never even thought about the Fisher House. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because Fisher House around the world, really.
Exactly.
And Fisher House is always available. So to have one this close and not use it, we need to take advantage of that.
We need advantage of that. But, you know, the only the prerequisite you have to have at the Fisher House is you need to give them a little warning of notice of when you're going to be there. And if you're using the VA, you know at least a month ahead of time that you have an appointment.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you just call them, and they will tell you to call them back a day before your procedure to make sure the availability is there.
Okay. And I know I'm putting you on the spot. Do you have the number for that?
No, I don't have the number.
Okay, but you can always call the hospital and find out.
Call the hospital and find out. It's online. You can look online. Just go to the Fisher House, and all the information will come up.
And the hospital number is 702-791-9000. And if you call the hospital, they can probably give you the number for the Fisher House.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm very glad you brought that up, because like you said, there are many people who don't know. I didn't know until you mentioned it to me a few weeks ago. But now everybody should know. And Fisher House is available. DAV service officers are available.
Yes, they
are. The DAV is available. When does the DAV meet, by the way?
We meet every third Tuesday of the month at the Coalition Building behind Walmart.
Okay.
At 5 o'clock, we have free refreshments, free food, and we start our meeting at 5:30. And we have guest speakers that come in, and we've limited Tom Waters to 3 minutes.
Okay. I only have 3 minutes, but everybody else have more time. And the reason for that is because I used to be the timer, and I made everybody stay with 3 minutes. So that's great. The other thing that we have something just before the meeting. What is that?
Food.
We have food.
Food. Yes, I mentioned at 5 o'clock we have food.
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
And the meeting starts at 5:30. So for 30 minutes we socialize with delicious food of whatever our DAVA member.
Beverly Baker.
Beverly Baker. Make sure that we have delicious and nutritious food.
Very much so.
Fantastic. I go for the food and I just stay for the meeting. So.
But one good thing about the DAV, and I want to throw this out there, and it's real important. I think that the most important thing that we get out of, besides all the other stuff that happens during the meetings, is the camaraderie.
Oh, absolutely.
The camaraderie is phenomenal. And people that were in the service realize how important the camaraderie is, because, hey, you got my back, I have your back.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. And that, I have to say, is it's just a great family to be involved with. It really is.
I want to say something else on that, because now Greg was in the Army, I was in the Air Force, and we'll joke about each other. But if we have a civilian joke about the Army, I'm not going to put up with that.
No.
That's my family.
That's right.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, we're family, and Coast Guard. And we're not going to let some outsider talk about our family. We'll talk about each other, and we'll joke about each other.
Yes.
But we counted on each other because we're a team.
That's right. And the team that I have is all walks of life and all different services, and I'm going to tell you, even the Marines are good that I have. So it's and we razz the Marines all the time. They all know it. I love all of them guys, and I have a ball with them. And my whole goal in being elected is to bring fun back to the DAV meetings, and I think you get a lot more done with laughter.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe, and that's my legacy that I'm going to leave in Pahrump.
We have a great time at the DAV meetings. If you'd like to come out, if you're a veteran and like to come out and see what it's all about, definitely come out on that third Tuesday. 5:30 for the meeting, 5 o'clock for the food. Or if you have some information you'd like to provide to veterans, come out as a guest speaker. Let Greg know. You can contact the number on the screen and say, I'd like to be a guest speaker at one of your DAV meetings. This is what I'd like to talk about. They'll put you on the schedule, and then you can come out and talk to us. And how many members do we have?
502.
502 members. Of course, they're not all there at one time.
No.
We have some that are outside of the area and just can't make the meetings. But we also have Bill Daly, our World War II veteran, and we're very proud of him. He's 93 years old.
93.
And he comes to our meetings. He's a joy to be around. He was with General Patton.
Yes, he was.
That's what we talk about. But again, we're out of time. And Greg, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for being our commander.
Thank you.
Greg is superb. The DAV is superb. And we want you to at least remember when they have the fundraisers or anything else, and come back and see us next month. Thank you.